All right, hello everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I just quickly rushed in. Don't worry, I won't be rushing out. I just quickly rushed in to come and say something that I thought would be beneficial to somebody, and that's why you are not getting that tailoring job or why you are not being employed. So we have Losodium as a community on WhatsApp. So we have several communities, but this particular community we have on WhatsApp called Losodium Connect Tailors. Okay, so what we do in that community is we have a lot of people come on board. So people who are looking for tailors to work with them, and tailors who are looking for jobs, that you want to work with somebody, you have the skill and you want to work with somebody. So that group is meant to connect the two people. So for example, there could be a fashion designer in Oweri and another fashion designer within that same Owerri space, another tailor rather within that Owerri space, who is looking for a tailor, but they don't know each other, they don't even know their street address is the same. And they keep saying, oh, I could not get this job, I could not get somebody to work with me. The person who's looking for a job too will say, there's no job in Nigeria and all of that. So we have created that community to help people connect to one another. And there's been a lot of testimonies on people getting jobs, getting employed. We thank God for that. However, because it's a group filled with fashion designers and tailors, we have a time every Thursdays where we have discussions on challenges that fashion designers, tailors are facing. And a lot of people complain, oh, I'm being paid low. Some will say, oh, I could not get a job. Some will say, oh, I got an interview, but they didn't employ me, and all of that. So I also had been doing a couple of interviews. So I also need tailors. And I've been doing a couple of interviews, and there are some things that I've seen that have been common, and I feel like other fashion designers have also been going through this, but the tailors don't know, right? And they don't know that that's the reason why, oh, they didn't call me back after the interview, or the reason why they would not be willing to bargain the salary. So I didn't put them in points, but I'll just be saying it's based on what I've experienced. And I also want that whoever is watching this, if you had such experience, tell me. Maybe you went for an interview, they didn't call you back. Did they tell you why they didn't call you back? What was the reason? Or if you're a fashion designer and you employed somebody, but you interviewed somebody, but you could not employ them. Tell us in the comments why you could not employ them. Okay. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe. So I realized that, let's even start from the CV. So when we are doing interviews, most times we ask that you send in your CV. And some of these things, tailors don't know. That's why we're doing this video, so that you get to know. Your employer looks at the places where you've worked. Now you wonder, why are people asking for CV? Oh, maybe they just want to know my name. They just want to know the state I'm from, what I've done. They just want, maybe, oh, they just wanted it to look like they are structure. No, the reason why they're looking at your CV is they want to see how you work. They want to see what your work experience is like. They want to see how long you can stay in a workplace. So, for example, I know that I've interviewed somebody who their past work experience shows that they stay in a business at most 3 months. So it means after 3 months, they have opted to another business. They will leave that job and go to another business. So it's like the three work experience that person has shows that. So say for example, that person started work in at a certain business in February. So February, March, April, May. Let's say May. So the person starts in February and they leave in May. So it means that they will ask in the part where your CV is meant to be created, or the part where you are just creating your CV. There's a part where you put February 2024 to May 2024. Then you are seeing that another business, that another company they worked with, maybe is September 2020 to December 2020. So it already show is like uh, your character. Your CV shows your character basically. So it tells me that this person, if we employ them, they will most likely leave in 3 months. No employer wants that. An employer wants somebody, because in 3 months they are still even teaching you to learn on the job. So it's a loss on their part if after 3 months they've invested in you to learn, go for trainings, onboard you, and do all of that, and you decide to take your leave after 3 months because you feel, I don't like that work, I'm just going to test another place. So it shows that you are not reliable. So another thing that you also want to know that employers look out for is when they are asking you about your skills, and this really is particular for the fashion space when people are looking for tailors. when they are looking for tailors and then they ask you, okay, so say for example, I'm saying that, oh, this is the salary that the company can pay you, and you're like, oh, this salary is small. So when a tailor comes in and says that this salary is small, I've worked in other brands like this and this and this and this, you know, and they've paid me better. I'm so sorry, it can't work. Even if the truth is, let me tell you the sincere truth. For every business that tells you this is what they can pay, once your value can be perceived, or once you have a very good value to offer them, they are willing, no matter how small the business is, they are willing to increase your salary. But the moment you are saying, oh, this salary is small, you know, I've worked with also brands. So you mentioned some top brands. I work with also brand and also brand. So it's very small for the standard of what I want to come and do. And there's a way you can say that will make the brand feel like, oh, you're already belittling us. You've not even started working with us. So they won't even want to call you in to negotiate the salary. Like, okay, let's see, maybe after 3 months we can increase this, or maybe we look at what you can do, and then find a way to balance up and ensure everybody is happy. But the moment you give that tone, it cuts you off. It cuts you off. And a lot of times, especially on the group, we've had a lot of tailors, a lot of fashion designers who said sometimes most of the tailors who are even requiring for a lot of money, they don't deliver as much. They don't deliver as much. I'm not saying this is for everybody, because I mean, if I try to go and work as a tailor somewhere, and you say you want to pay me a certain price, I might want to bargain it because I know, oh, this is what I can offer, and I will send you pictures of my best work. Now that will bring me to a point where sometimes when they ask you to send your best work as a tailor, a fashion designer wants to employ you and they're saying, okay, show me your best work. It is shocking to realize what some of these you guys, or I don't want to use that word, but shocking to see what you would call your best work. And then you will say that they should increase your salary. And this is your best work. Your best work doesn't show best. You're ready from your best work, because if somebody is telling me to show my best work, it means I'm showing what I consider as the best I have ever done. So if you are giving me something that to that employer is just what their foundation students would do, they would not be willing to offer you. So it only means that as a tailor, you want to build your portfolio. Not necessarily fine. You have to probably work in some places to get experience, but how many things are you sewing for yourself? Like, okay, you are a tailor, you're not even trying to be a fashion designer, you just want to be a tailor, but you want to build your portfolio to a point where when they are telling you, let's show me your best work, and how do you even build that? Look at the trend, what is trending now. Maybe it's draping or corset. Go for online classes, learn those things and practice. When you practice, take a good picture, post, or just keep them somewhere. So anytime somebody is saying that, show me your best work, you have put in effort and you have put in a lot of work in this. So you are truly showing them what is best. Trust me, at that point is when your employer knows whether they would be willing to increase the salary price they give to you or not. But when you show them that this is your best work and it's not best to them, like, it's just basic. It's just basic. What you're telling me, if you send me a basic picture, maybe it's just a boo gown, or it's just a skirt and blouse, or it's just a gown that is just simple. What you're telling me, that is the best that you can do for us. So we cannot. No business wants to go run at a loss. In fact, they are still trying to gain your trust. They are still trying to see, oh, can this person really do the job? So let's bring them on board first and see what they can do. That's why some businesses might not increase salary at the time of bargaining. However, if your work is good and you have built your portfolio to a certain level, trust me, you position yourself to have a say when it comes to bargaining on your salary. So another thing I also want to say is that, especially when the first point I gave about you spending a short duration in different companies, try your best to stay in a company for a very long time. It might not be all that long, because there are some businesses that maybe they didn't treat you well. They, in fact, the way they are doing is not good and all of that. Preferably, don't put that in your CV. Once you know that, oh, I left this place after 3 months of working there because the work ethics, I don't like it, the way they treated me and all of that. Don't put that in your CV, because there are some employers who would first shuffle out people based on CV before they now call you for interview. So you might not even get the opportunity to be called for interview before they just shuffle you out, like, oh, we're not calling this one, because they will say that 3 months, 3 months. all the places you've worked, 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, 1 month, what's going on? You are not reliable. Okay, so you preferably just let that out of your CV. And when you now, if you now say, oh, how then do I put in some experiences? Go and intern, or maybe work for somebody where you are working there and you can spend a very long time there. Okay, then you can put that in your CV and tell them, oh, I was able to do this, do that for this person. Okay, and I want to also say that while building your CV, there's no knowledge that is a waste. There's no, especially if you are very high on doing voluntary work, pay attention to those voluntary work. Maybe you followed your friend to a trade fair, you assisted her in attending to customers and in all of that. Put it there that you were a sales assistant at a trade fair. Put it there, because you don't know, it might be just that small skill of knowing how to handle plenty customers at the same time that will differentiate you or make them pick you among others. Okay. Okay, so on the issue of salary, maybe when you go for an interview and then your employer is saying a certain salary that you feel like is small. So, like I said, when you build your portfolio, it allows you to bargain for more because the employer would be willing. But if you are giving us basic clothes as best, your best outfit that you've made so far, even when you are saying that you want more, you're telling your employer that they should increase the salary for you, they will look at you like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what you can do, and you're telling us to increase the salary. So it doesn't give room for that at all. However, if you're somebody who is teachable and can learn, and the business is also willing to allow you learn on the job, you might want to take up that employment. And then once they see that as the months run by, you are improving by the day, you can, after 3 months or 6 months or maybe 1 year, you can actually go back and bargain your salary again. So this time you have offered value. They've seen what you can do, they've seen how well you've grown over the months that you spent with them, and they think that you truly deserve a salary increase. It's very important for you to know that when it comes to money, it's not difficult to make money. However, money follows value. Okay, you might want to pen that down. Money follows value. But if you have not offered value and you are requesting for money, you have no basis or you have no reason why you should be giving money. But when you are first offered value, people can now see, oh, she's been doing well, and if she's asking us for more increase now, I think we can consider it, because I mean, look at all the things she has been doing for the past few months. So she truly deserves it. One of the things that I have seen, and I might not be able to remember some now. If there's going to be a part two, that's fine. If not, please drop in the comment section some other reasons why you don't employ some people. And I just remembered this. Please, when you also, it's very important to know how to communicate. Okay, I'd interviewed a couple of people, and I remember like one or two that I interviewed. In fact, they got the job. I was like, okay, come and resume. And then the day to resume, they didn't show up, they didn't call, they didn't do anything. I was even calling, they were not picking. And at the end of the day, I realized that, oh, the salary was not enough for them. And considering transport, which was quite reasonable. So I might not be able to offer you more because maybe that's what we can afford at present. But it's very important that since you've been told that, oh, resume on Monday, and you agree to resume on Monday, then you go back home and realize that I don't think that this will work for me. You should, it's a responsibility as a human being. Eh? You should send a message to that company to let them know, because what you do is they have a lot of people sending their CVs, and the moment they do an interview for you and feel like, okay, come and resume, they shun the other ones and say, okay, we've gotten somebody already. They now wait for you on Monday and you don't show up. You just assume, well, if they don't hear from me, they should just assume that I'm not interested in the job. It makes you look irresponsible. Forgive me for that word, but that's the truth. It makes you look very irresponsible, that the same business that cannot pay you a very high salary can pay you a higher salary later. Now you want to ensure that you have a relationship with them in a way that you do not position yourself to you do not position yourself in a way that later on, when they can afford more and they remember that, oh, they've interviewed you before, they like the way you responded and all of that, and they can call you and say, oh, we remember that you could not work with us because the salary was small. Now we are willing to pay a higher salary. Can you still work with us? But when you don't show up and you did not even communicate to send a text that, I'm sorry, I know I came from the interview and we agreed, but I might not be able to resume because my transportation costs, where I'm coming from, and all of that will take a larger portion of my salary. Now, that is you being responsible. But if you don't do that, the moment that business can pay higher, employ to pay higher, they would not consider you, because what you did to them is you made them stranded. So they were expecting you on a certain day to resume. You were nowhere to be found. They were stranded. That's what it means. Okay. And I also realized that sometimes all of these things I'm sharing are like real life experiences. It's important that when you see somebody that you also admire, businesses that have structure would not employ you, whether they're going to be paying you or not, whether you're coming in as an intern, or you're coming in as a volunteer, or you're coming in as an employee. They won't employ you because you walk up to the person and say, "Oh, I admire the work you do. I love all of that." Proper businesses have structures. So people just don't employ people. It's not a charity business. Okay. So it's very important you know that even though you are working, maybe this person is your role model, you've been seeing them online, and you have the opportunity to meet them. And then you're like, "Oh, please, I would love to intern with you. In fact, I would love to work with you for free. Please, when can I resume?" And they say, "Oh, okay, just put a call across to me." So this is a similar experience that I'm just sharing. And somebody just walked up to me, "I like what you do. Can I intern with you? I don't mind, don't pay me. I just want to intern with you for free." And I was like, "Okay, send a message, because we're at an event." So she sends a message that, "Oh, when can I resume?" I said, "Oh, okay. I remember you from the event. However, we have a system in going about this. So you have to send an application letter to our email." And this woman never showed up. She never sent an application letter. She never sent anything. And it just kept me wondering, like, "Oh, do you expect me to just tell you resume on Monday and that is it?" There are structures and systems put in place to bring people into the business. So don't expect that people just run business anyhow. Now, remember what that did to me is that me realizing that this person expected that I would just tell her to resume and just come into the business like that showed that she's not a person who is willing to submit to structures or systems. And truly, it might even mean that when she sends the application letter, if she decides, maybe she sees this video and she now says, "Oh, let me even send the application letter," we might not even still consider, because you have already shown, you just went silent after you were told. Because the excitement that she used in saying, "When can I start working with you?" I expected that same excitement in sending the application letter in almost immediately when I told her to send it. It's been a lot of days now, and application letter is nowhere to be found. Okay, but I realize a lot of people do that as well. Once you realize that, oh, you like this person, you enjoy what they do, and then they say, "Oh, go through this process for you to be able to do this for us or be with us on this level," you just back out. It means you're not ready. It's similar to when you admire people who have results. I'd always share with people that when you admire people who have results, the result is not what you should really be admiring. Go and make inquiries to know what sacrifices they made to get those results. So if you're not willing to pay the sacrifice, you do not qualify to have such results. So, and so, in fact, I even told her at that point, I said, "If you want to work with me, I'm not, if you see me in public, I'm smiling and laughing with everybody. People that work with me, I don't smile with them. It's serious business. We are working to get results. So it's not a place where you laugh and smile. Of course, it's not like we frown with each other all the time, but it's serious business. So you not expect the same way I'm laughing at you, with you in public is when we are not working and I'll be laughing. Maybe you saw one place, it was not well done, and I say, "Oh, leave it, don't worry." You are gonna lose that thing again. Okay, I might even smile to say it. You're going to lose it again. But one thing I realized that a lot of these people who would admire you on the outside, they're not ready to put in the work. So the moment you bring them on board, and then they see that, why are you now frowning at me? She be outside, you used to laugh. Why are you frowning at me? Because I did not sew this thing well. Why can't you just leave it like that? Must I sew it well? So you admire the work that I do outside, but now you're coming inside to see what goes into the work that you admire, but you don't want to do the work. And this also takes in tailors who you admire a certain person and you feel like you want to work with them and you have the opportunity to work with them, and then you feel like, why are they asking too much? They demand too much from you. They want you to lose because of one tiny stitch that went wrong. They should lose something that you can leave, but you admire the work on the outside before you join them. So always note that if there is a work of somebody I saw and I admire, know that there's a lot of work that's gone into that work. So Forgive me if I'm saying work, 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 but know that there's a lot of sacrifice that had gone into that work. And if you are putting out yourself or sending an application to be a part of that team, be ready to put in the work. It's not a celebrity show outside. There's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scene. So you are saying, I no longer want to be on the outside, I want to be behind the scene. You are going to be doing a lot of work. So it's not a case of, oh, I want to boast that I work with this celebrity or I work with this brand. No, that's not it. Be ready to put in the work because there's a lot of these brands put in a lot of work. So if you can't put in the work, you are not qualified to be there. Trust me, that celebrity that was smiling at you outside, when you come and start working with them, they won't be smiling at you because they are not doing celebrity. It's not a relationship of celebrity and fan now. It's a relationship of employer to employee. Work must be done. All right. So please like, share, subscribe, of course. And if you anything stood out for you, profound, please drop in the comment section. If you also have something to add to this, please drop it in the comment section. All right. See you in the next video.